Who's ready for a full face of CoverGirl Clean Fresh? I know I am, and I hope you are too. We've got a fun video ahead of us where I'm going to show you how I made this look. So if you want to see that, make sure you stick around, but very quickly, a very quick word. Most of these items are from the CoverGirl Clean Fresh line. A couple of the products are not, and that is just because they either don't make anything for that particular thing, or it was out of stock everywhere in my town and online, so I couldn't get it. But I tried to do as many products from the CoverGirl Clean Fresh line as possible. Some of these are products that I've had for a while. Others, however, are products I just ordered in an Ulta order, and I wanted this video to be up like a week or two ago, but unfortunately one of the things came in broken and got all over everything else, and I had to wait for a replacement. So unfortunately this had to wait until now. So sorry about that, but it is up now. Last thing, I just thought it would be fun to maybe every once in a while tell you what perfume or body spray or fragrance, there we go, I am wearing, because I personally love fragrance. Now I don't have that many of them yet, so you might see a lot of repeats, but today I am wearing the Ariana Grande Cloud Body Mist. This is something I found at TJ Maxx. This is actually my second bottle of it. I love this stuff. I have tried or sampled the perfume versions, and they're good, they're just not as great. The body mist, perfect. All right, so let's jump right into making this face. All right, here I am with no makeup on at all. I don't have primer on. I only have moisturizer on, which I put on a couple hours ago, and then chapstick, which I did just put on. So if you see some shininess, it's from that. And yes, my lips are unfortunately a bit red and chapped. We've had some really cold, dry, windy days, and so those have been struggling. So the first item we are putting on is the hydrating concealer from this line, and mine is in 330 Fair Light. And I did order this on the website, so I honestly had to guess what I should get. I'll be honest, when it came in, I liked that it was all one cohesive thing, because all the ones in the stores are all separated, and that's something that I've noticed with a lot of the cleaner beauty brands. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't look appealing on the store shelves. So when it came, because I got all rattled around, it was already looking pretty. All right. So it smells just like the concealer, so not bad, not great. Nothing special. There's no actual scent to it. And this is also part of the vegan stuff. I believe everything in this line is supposed to be vegan and cruelty-free and free of all these different things. I'll put a list on here of what at least this item is supposed to be, and if anything is different, I guess I'll try to remember to put that. But this is a smaller doe foot applicator, which I kind of like. We'll see how much we put on. Now, I don't use concealer all that often, so when I do use it, I put it on the under the eyes, because I do get blues there, and then like I've got some redness right here, but I'm not sure I want to put concealer there. I've never really put concealer there. I'm not sure. And then I have over here a little bit of redness, so we'll just put some there. And sorry, I'm going to be looking this way as I apply, because this is where my mirror is. Maybe one day that'll be different, but I'm not going to put like a lot. Okay. Yes, I know I just said I'm not going to put a lot. I also have like some lines up right here, and I want to know if this is going to crease, and like because it's there or what. And notice I haven't put this back in. I've just kind of used whatever is on the wand. I think I'm gonna leave it at that, because I'm gonna do the chin just with what I have left on this. Maybe take from the back. Ah, there we go. Yep, okay. Put that back in there. take my little mini blender sponge and start under the eye. Okay, I can already tell that this is a little bit caking. Yeah, it's actually like sticking to all of my my texture. I do have textured skin, and I think that's why I tend to stay away from a lot of concealers. This is supposed to be a hydrating concealer, but honestly, it's just bringing out the texture. I'm gonna use my fingers on the chin and see if that helps, like if the oils, yeah, actually, okay, let me go back over here. The natural oils from your fingers can help pat it down a little bit, not pat it down, but like smooth it out a little bit. But yeah, this is not it's giving good coverage. It is definitely giving good coverage, and I didn't use a primer, so maybe it would work better with a primer, but it's definitely clinging to all my little texture. Down here I don't have as much texture, so down here I feel like it got rid of a lot of that redness. I feel like it did a decent job, but I don't know if you can see right here, it's definitely, oh, especially like right here, like all my texture on my skin is being shown off. Great. It did take care of the redness, so I will say for redness, if you don't have textured skin, I think that this would be really good. For my textured skin, I'm gonna have to figure out if this works better with a primer or not, because I don't like that. I don't think that this line had a primer. I know that it had a setting spray, and sometimes you can use setting sprays before, but I chose not to buy that one because it was rose water based, and I already have enough rose water based things that I don't like and I'm just forcing myself to use. So I chose not to buy that. I didn't see another, like a primer thing though. So, all right, so we'll see how this works under the foundation. This is all from the Clean Fresh. This is the Skin Milk ones. I believe the Clean Fresh also has a mattified one. I'm not positive, but I have 3 shades here. I have 520 Fair, which I use typically in the dead of winter if I've not been outside much and all of that. And then I have the 530 Fair Light, which is my most often used. And yes, I have a sticker on here showing when I actually opened this. And I have one on this one too. I don't know when I bought this one or opened it, but it's been opened and used. But the Fair Light is my most often used. I can use it in most seasons of life. And then I do have the Light 540, which is a little bit darker, which is my I've been outside a lot shade. I think today I'm going to stick with my Fair Light. I was originally thinking I would have to go with the light one because of the concealer I got, but this is pretty much disappeared, which I like. Should be doing that. It disappeared, but it left a lot of the texture is still just, it's like it's attaching to the texture, and it's just driving me nuts. Oh, the Skim Milk Nourishing Foundation with coconut milk and aloe extract. I shake this up every time. It is very liquidy, and I have noticed the longer it goes being open, it's getting more and more liquidy. So yes, these do have an 18-month expiration, so I'm at that point. With this, I do like to use a sponge, but not only have I dampened my sponge, I also spray this Peachy makeup fixing mist. It is a rose water and green tea spray on it, and I kind of use that to help dampen this. And yes, the only thing that's been on this particular sponge is this concealer, or foundation, sorry. I just spray it on there. I like the way it applies better with that. So I just take a couple sprays. I don't want to spray the camera. There, you can see that. just to get it a little damp. That is prepped and ready for my foundation. And you're probably going to be screaming at me because of the way I apply my foundation. Sorry, but for this particular one, this is the way that works best. So I just take it right onto the skin. Oh gosh, that was a bit much. Okay, gotta work fast. Trying to do this in this mirror is a pain. Okay, and then I just bring it everywhere. So I don't really blend it right away. I start with moving it by the light taps. Yes, you're gonna see a lot of weird facial expressions. So you saw how quickly that moved. It used to not move as quickly, but it has gotten a little bit more liquidy as it gets closer and closer, like to the point that I should probably part with it. But it still smells great. It still works great. So I really haven't seen a reason to part with it. Now I do put the leftover that's on here on my eyelid, but it's such a little amount that I really don't know if it makes a difference. It's just kind of something I do. So I do try not to do this for too long. I have to blend it out quickly because it does, if I do too much of the tapping with the brush, or sorry, the blender, it will start to pick up any dryness, and then it'll show that. So I don't want to do that. So at this point, I just make sure I've blended it all out and I've brought some down a little bit. The concealer is still showing a lot more of my texture, and you can see that this foundation is just a very light coating. It's not supposed to be a like a full coverage at all, but it is definitely blending out a lot, and I feel like it just, I don't know, I like the way it sits on here. It's a very natural looking. Yes, I think you can probably see a little bit of my texture is being brought out, but that does settle down as we get going. So we'll give this a few moments to calm down, do its job. I have the Clean Fresh blush palette as the blush options for today. This is the 105 Peachy Doll, and it has 3 shades in it. I'm going to swatch them for you, and we're going to figure out what we want to do. So it pretty big size, I think. Has these 3 shades. It has a nice mirror here, and we'll just give you that close up there. This is 2.2 grams, and yes, this looks like a mess, but this is brand new. It's because I had the order that got all sparkly and this was in it. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them from this side to this side for you. They feel nice. They feel more powdery than creamy, which I believe is advertised as being more creamy, but that's okay. So let's see. Okay, it's definitely got a very powdery feel, but it's very soft. So there is that first shade there. You can tell from this that I think we can build it up if we need to, or we can blend it out if we need to. The middle shade is the one that I was thinking I would probably be using. That's more of that orangey, peachy shade. Okay. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it's very soft, but it took a moment to rub on. that one, I don't see as much of the gray that we could do like with that one, but this one does look really pretty. I actually really enjoy that one. That one's probably a keeper. Now this one down here, I'm very interested to see because I'm kind of wondering if it would work for a highlighter shade. That's what it looks like there. Ooh, that's really pretty. It's not sparkly or anything. I actually think that shade right there I might use as the highlighter because I did not buy a highlighter. I didn't see one in the line. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. It's kind of hard to see. Hopefully in recording you can see that. But those are the 3 shades there. So I think I'm going to do the middle shade, which is that peachy orange shade, as the blush. And then I'm going to use the lightest shade as a highlighter. We'll see how that works. And then I don't have a bronzer. I looked and looked and looked, didn't see any bronzers either. So I don't know. There was a cream blush option, but I didn't notice any cream bronzers, or maybe I saw a highlighter, but it was out of stock. Maybe that was it. Bronzer, I don't remember seeing it all though. So for bronzer, I am going to go in with this matte bronzer. I'm going to butcher this name and I apologize. I will learn it. Hanali. It's a Hawaiian based brand. And it's just a beautiful matte bronzer that I've had for a while. You can see there. And I'll just give you a little look at that. Just a very well done bronzer. It's very okay. So I'm going to start with this bronzer real quick, and because this is not from CoverGirl, I'm just going to quickly put it on and come right back. Okay, bronzer is on. You can tell this side, at least from what I am seeing in this lighting, I did kind of good. This side I kind of brought down a little far. That was a little unfortunate. So I'm actually going to take that sponge and just go over it a little bit. Just to kind of take care of that a little bit. It helped. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Now I'm going to go in with the Luxie blush brush 514. The other brush was a crown brush, but I doesn't have any information on it. It's a denser brush. So I'm going to go into that center one there. I feel like, ooh, that's picking up a lot. I am barely tapping, and there's so much on there. Okay. 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 So looking here, it's like, oh, okay. And then here's like, that's a lot. Okay. I like the way that this is laying on here. Yeah, okay, that's really pretty. Okay, okay. I like that, and I think I'm going to leave it at that because I don't think it's meant to be a highlighter, but I'm going to use it as a highlighter, so this might not work out. But we're going to put some on the brush. Doesn't look like it's picking up anything, but it probably is picking up more than I think. Okay, that's actually really pretty. I hope you guys can see that on there because that is actually this really pretty goldish color. That is really pretty. It's very light, and it's definitely going to be something that will show up in certain lights, and in other light you'll probably won't notice. But I like that, and it helps to also tone down a little bit where I went a little high on the blush. I kind of like that. I don't like that, and this is probably because it's not meant to be a highlighter, but it's kind of, on this side it's not, but on this side it's kind of matting down a little bit. But hopefully our spray will fix that. Something that I forgot to do, which I normally do, is I take the leftover blush in here. I don't dip it back in, but I do bring some blush color places. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Sometimes I do this with the bronzer. Today I'm going to do it with the blush because I actually really liked that blush. Oh yeah, that brought a bit more color. Hopefully you can see it kind of helped to blend stuff out a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is the NYX Dewy Finish Spray. Again, I didn't buy the one from this line because it was rose water based, and this is my go-to for everything. So I'm just going to spray it on here, and we're going to let it set and let it soothe. Then I just kind of wave it dry a little bit. It doesn't dry it completely, but it kind of gets the process started. We're gonna jump in to the brand new release of the Clean Color eyeshadow 4-pan color. The one that I did was 272 Candlelit Burgundy. Okay, so this packaging is a plasticky package. It seems thicker than like the e.l.f. bite-sized palette plastic, but it also feels kind of light. It opens easily, and that's probably why my first order broke. But it looks really pretty. It has really pretty embossing on here. Looks like we've got 2 sparkles and 2 mattes. Well, this one has a little bit of like a shimmer in it. This one here looks very chunky, and this is the one that broke in the one that was initially sent to me. So really quickly, when I was ordering this, I saw this and was kind of thinking that it kind of reminded me of the e.l.f. bite-sized palette in Berry Bad. So I just wanted to open them both up and see, and like looking at them side by side, struggling to get this one open. Okay, looking at them side by side, I definitely think that there are similarities, but I don't think they're as close as I was initially thinking. So if you were looking at this and thinking it was basically this, I think they're pretty, like, I don't know. So like these colors look like they could be similar, except that the bottom one is all sparkly and chunky. These two, the line up right there, again, similar in color, except the top one is sparkly. This one, same thing, and then these just don't go at all. So I don't know, that's what this kind of made me think of this, and that's kind of why I bought it, because the colors entice me, but also was like, that looks so similar online. In person, not nearly as similar. So we're gonna go ahead and give these a quick swatch and show you what we have, and then we're gonna make a look with them. So starting, I guess, from the dark side and going to the lighter or to the chunkier side. I like how these have a beautiful, oh, I hope you can see them. They're clouds on all of them that are embossed, which is really pretty. All right, so first one, it feels kind of scratchy because it does have some sparkles, but it's not like super chunky, but it does feel a little scratchy. Okay, that is a really pretty color. Now I am pushing kind of hard on my finger to kind of make sure that I'm getting it put on there really well, but that is a beautiful color. I can see this in fall time being used all the time. Okay, that is a beautiful dark burgundy color. You can see that you can build it up, but it also very easily looks like it'll blend out to a lighter color. Those two together, beautiful. Next up, we have this one that looks a little orangey. Oh yes, and it's got some sparkle in it. Again, it's a little rougher. The matte one was much softer, but still isn't as soft as I was hoping. So this one is definitely more orangey than that first one, and it doesn't really have sparkle, it doesn't look like I thought it did, but it looks very close in color, minus the sparkle. But it's really pretty, softer than this one, but it's still a little scratchy. All right, then we have the really chunky looking one, and this actually feels the softest out of all of them. What the heck? It's definitely got some chunkiness, but I I am able to kind of push that out. All right, that is pretty. Okay, these are really pretty colors. I'm interested to see though if they're all gonna kind of just blend together and make one color, because they look like they could easily do that. And just for fun, I am going to grab that e.l.f. one and do swatches kind of close to it. So the lightest one I'm gonna put right under here. And that one has no sparkle, of course, but it's that lighter color. See, that's more of a taupe, but that would actually go really pretty with this collection. Then we have that sparkly one, which is actually one of my favorites. Ooh, interesting. I should have actually done that up top. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do that up top again because that looks so close to this one. Is it going to fit? Barely. It barely fits. Okay, so next to each other, you can see one is more a brown sparkly and one is a burgundy sparkly with a purpley tint to it. So the top one is the one from the Color Fresh line. The bottom one is the e.l.f. Okay, and then we've got the purple sparkly color there. This is another one I love to use. And again, it's close, but it's not really there. So these are definitely two different palettes. And then the dark one in here, which I will try to put. So there's that dark one here. I'm going to put this one kind of right next to it, just going up. And that is definitely a brown versus the burgundy. You can see the difference there. Sorry, those swatches are kind of all over the place, but I was just interested and figured I would show you guys what, how they actually looked compared to each other. Okay, so really quickly before I do the eye look, I have to go and do the eyebrows. I will be right back for that, but I'm going to show you real quick. I am just using my e.l.f. brow comb and brush, and then my Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim in the shade 260 Deep Brown, because I didn't see anything in this line. All right, there are the brows. Sometimes I would do a brow glue, but today I am just sticking with this. I think I'm going to do that matte all over the lid. This is going to be dark. I know it's going to be dark. Going in first with this color right here, that really purpley burgundy brownie color. It's gonna be so dark. Okay, we can do this. I'm sorry, I need a hand here. Okay, this is actually a really pretty color that is blending out to a lighter color than I was thinking it was going to be. I was really worried that it's going to be very dark, and it is dark, don't get me wrong, but it's also dark because I'm extremely pale. Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying that. That's a really pretty color there. Okay, go in on the other side. Okay, so that is really pretty. In some ways I'm looking at with the lights, you can see the burgundy a lot more, versus others it looks more brown, and it definitely looks like if you keep working it, you can make it look brown, which I'm not entirely enjoying that part. I'm gonna actually add a little bit more, but I'm gonna pat it on and kind of spread it with patting and see if that kind of helps it keep its color. Yeah, I think that that helps. Yeah, that's definitely keeping more of that burgundy-ish color versus just turning into a brown, which it's a beautiful brown when it turns into that, but that is a really pretty color and I want to keep that. So, okay, I actually really like this. Kind of wish I could just keep it like that, but that would be kind of boring. All right, I'm going to take the brush that I've just been using and just take what's left and kind of bring it up a little bit. Just a little bit on both sides. That way it kind of does this grading look, and I do like to bring it up under the eyebrow once it gets to basically nothing, just because I have so much bluing, like blue like over here, I feel like it kind of helps. I think I'm gonna put this color on the outside. I'm gonna put that on the outside. I'm gonna go into this Luxie 207 medium angle shading brush. Probably using it wrong, but it's just the way I'm using it, okay? I've just barely put some on here. And going in this corner. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm not really rubbing. Just kind of patting it and bringing it just a little bit this way, but not like the whole lid. That is actually really pretty. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. That is really pretty. It's funny, with the brush, I am getting much more sparkles than when I just tried it with my finger and give you guys the swatches. It was this shade right here. So lid was this one was the outer corner. Now I'm gonna go in with this one here. I'm gonna go kind of in the inner corner, but not like all the way in. So I'm gonna use my finger, I think, for this one. Yeah, because this is a rough one. I don't know why that's the roughest feeling one. Oh, that is pretty. Okay. It's kind of giving me like a foily look to it. But it, even though it's a pretty color, it is like chunky. So I'm kind of trying to blend it out a little bit. I'm gonna get some on the other side. So I really like the way that this is looking, except that I feel like it's just, it's getting chunky. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really like clumping a lot. It's a beautiful color, but I don't like the clump. It still kind of looks a bit chunky, and it could have been the way I applied it, but I'm not entirely in love with how that shade of is working. All right, so that was this shade here. Now I'm going to go in with this shade here on the inner corner and just kind of see what works. I'm going to take my pinky there. This one was actually the softest of all of them, but it is definitely clumpy, and I am kind of worried about that. I don't know if clumpy is the right word. Am I using the right word? You beauty people, tell me nicely, please. Oh gosh, that has a lot of fallout. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna use my brush to kind of brush it off of my finger a little bit to brush the clumps off, and also off of my face. Oh, that just made a mess. Let's try that again. So now I got all the clumps off. It's pretty. Oh yeah, she be pretty. Oh, bring it in here. Okay, let's do that again. So I'm gonna go in again with my finger. See all those clumps there? Maybe. There you go. I'm gonna brush them off with a brush just lightly, so there's basically no clumping left. And then go on this side. Oh yeah, okay. That got dramatic real fast. All right, let's clean that up. Can you see that inner corner eye there? Hopefully you can. It kind of got messy in here, unfortunately, and that's just because it's a messy shade. I'm gonna have to play around with the best way to use that, but I'm gonna clean this up a little. Okay, I'm going to go in with that original brush that I used for the lid one and just kind of blend this out a little bit and help it look more even. There we go. I don't know if on camera if you can tell if that's doing anything, but for what I can see, it's doing quite a bit. And then I'm going to go into this inner corner because I did wipe off some of like that stuff, and I've got sparkles out everywhere. And I'm just going to kind of try to blend it out. Bring some of that stuff away. Yes, I do weird faces. Don't you do weird faces when you do makeup? Well, I've got a very sparkly face. Oh well. A mascara. So this is from CoverGirl. This is the Lash Blast Clean Volume Mascara. So it's not from the Clean Fresh line, but it is from another clean line that they have. But the Clean Fresh I could not find anywhere online, any stores. And this one was in all of the stores. So I just was like, okay, maybe that means it's better. So I'll just do that. So I'm going to open this one right up, and I can tell you right now that I like one thing about this already. I like that you got to see what the actual wand looks like, not by a picture, but by the actual wand itself. And it's all clean and everything. I like those bristles. I don't like that there's not much shape. Of course, there's on this side they're longer, on this side they're shorter. See if I can get a good look of that for you. But I like that this was done like this and this had its own cap because I feel like it'll last longer that way. I don't know. I could be wrong. But you just take this cap off, and then it does say, that cap just looks like that. It does say, of course, to go ahead and put this all the way in and shut it before using. It smells like nothing. So I have that all the way in and closed. I also really like this color. It's a beautiful color. There it is with the coating. Looks like it coated it really nice and evenly. And I'm going to try to do this in front of y'all. No laughing at my faces though. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go on the outside and work my way in. Yes, I opened my mouth. I'm sorry. Okay. It's very lightly coating it with a very light feeling coating. Like it doesn't feel thick. It is separating all of those lashes, and actually it's looking really pretty. Yeah, I am kind of working it in and up, and so it's kind of helping to curl my lashes a little bit too. Okay, so over here, we're kind of getting a little bit of clumpy, not like clumps, but like sticking together. There we go. Let's look at the difference. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm so sorry about the lighting and everything. I'm still trying to figure this out, but this one has no mascara. This one has mascara on. This feels so light. So light. Like I actually feel like I don't have any mascara on. And I actually really enjoy that feeling. It did initially feel like it was giving them like a little bit of lift, but it does look like it's falling a little bit, but they're still got the curl. It feels very light. I love how separated each of the lashes are. And hopefully you can tell a difference between this eye and this eye. And I'm going to put the other side on real quick. Okay, now with both eyes done, on this eye, I tried to do a thicker coating than on this eye, and I do think you can see it better, but I'm not sure if you're seeing that this eye is sticking together more with that thicker layer. Now, I didn't like wait for it to dry, I just kind of put on a thicker layer, so that could be why. So I'm gonna have to play around with this and see if maybe multiple layers is something that works better for this. But I like the way that this is really gave a lot of definition versus this side is more like a simple everyday going outside side. But I like how this one is much more separated lashes versus this one has some clumping lashes. Now that this side is dry, I'm actually going to add a second layer and see if these come closer together. Okay, second layer is where it's at. So this side has the second layer, this side just put on thicker initially. This side is showing up darker, and that's probably because the lashes are a little bit more stuck together versus this side, they're all nice and separated. There's some clumping, but like sticking together, but not nearly as much. But I prefer this side to this side, even though this side's darker and has more of a punch to it. So hopefully you can see that they are both feeling so light. Like neither of them feel like I have any mascara on, and I love that. You can also, while I'm up this close, see how the foundation and the concealer did. Concealer, it's still unfortunately kind of clinging to my dry spots, or not my dry spots, my texture. Although down here where I have not nearly as much texture, it's more smoothing and definitely took care of the redness. And then the foundation, again, it's kind of showing a little bit more of my texture, but I don't think it does it in a bad way. Like, we all have skin, and the purpose of foundation for me is not to pretend I don't have skin. I don't feel like it super like makes it, oh my gosh, she has texture. A little bit up here with like the coloring, it kind of is, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I still really enjoy this. I do wish that I didn't have that. Now I will say I have tried the foundation with a primer before, with a couple different primers, and I have one primer that it works really well with, but I wanted to try this with as few non-CoverGirl products as possible. So I will say, if you're going to use a foundation and you have the time and you have dry or textured skin, maybe do a primer. Okay, so if you saw my video where I went into the organization of all of this, then you saw that I have the CoverGirl Clean Fresh, where'd it go? That's wrong. Tinted lip balm with hyaluronic acid in You're the Palm, and I have been loving this. It is very lightly tinted, even though it shows up really bright there. It just goes on like a very light tint, and it is very moisturizing. So I went ahead and bought a second one, this one right here in the shade Made for Peach. I really enjoy like orangey colors on my lips, and so to have like a tinted lip balm really drew me in. Even though this is not the one we're going to be using on today's look, I still wanted to open it up with you and show you. Ooh, that is pretty. I'm sure that's going to be really pretty just on the lips, just as a nice thing to put on sometimes instead of just chapstick. But the thing we're going to wear today is another brand new launch, and yes, I'm sorry, it looks kind of messy and sparkly because it was in that Ulta order. So that is the Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss, and apparently each of these glosses are supposed to smell and maybe taste, I'm not sure, like what their name is. So this one is in the Acai You Later, which is such a cute name. I will say this is a thick gloss, okay? So I had this laying down like this in my drawer, but before I started filming, I stood this up, and you can see it's still struggling to go all the way down. It is a thick gloss. So I'm gonna open that up and see what this looks like and smells like. Ooh, that's thick. Oh my gosh. It smells like a really strong gummy bear. Yeah, I think that's what that is. That smells good. Okay. The doe foot looks like a really nice, good size. All right, let's see what we got here. That is so pretty. That is a lot pinker than I was expecting. I don't know why. It's a gloss, so it's very sheer, but it is so pretty looking. I actually really like that. And the doe foot is a little strange to me, maybe because of the size, but it's okay. But the smell of this is amazing. The feel of this is amazing. It's definitely a thick gloss in here and on the doe foot, but going on, it doesn't feel super thick, and it doesn't really feel any stickiness. And the scent that is there is so light. Like in here, it smells like it's actually really strong, but on it's really light, and I really like the way that went on. It's actually really a pretty color. It's kind of just bringing out the pink in my lips. I actually kind of really like that. Okay, well, there is the look. Yes, my hair is being weird. It's always being weird. You'll probably see me in a completely different hairstyle every single day. Oh, look, I wore a ponytail at some point. So this is the finished look. Do you like it? What of these products have you used? What of these products do you want to give a shot with? Yeah, if you ordered anything from their newest release, so any of these eyeshadows or any of these glosses, let me know which ones you got. I would love to chit chat about your favorite ones and get to know which ones I should maybe pick up later. But this is the final look. I hope that you enjoy this. If this inspired you to make a similar look, whether with these products or with products you already have in your collection, let me know. I would love to know what products you're using. Enjoy this video and videos like this, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for sticking around for this longer than it was supposed to be video, and I will see you very soon.